Hey, Nova babes. It's been a while. um, when I drop this, it'll be the Sagittarius full moon, which is the blue moon, the super rare once in a blue moon, right? And a lot of the themes that go with that is unearthing yourself and showing the true self, right? And it's Gemini season, so it's going to bring out communication. It's bringing out different vibes, different energy. And as you can see, I'm in a completely different spot than what y'all used to see me in. Better lighting. I got a little glow. I'm feeling better. Obviously, I had to take a little hiatus, if y'all noticed. I think the last time that I posted on YouTube was sometime early November. So that was months ago. And a lot has happened. A lot has happened. And I've been really nervous to share it. And I feel like this blue moon specifically is giving me this energy to do so. I'm a Sagittarius rising. It's in the full moon is in Sagittarius. It's Gemini season. I'm also an air sign, Libra. And it's just like, I can't put this off any longer. You know what I mean? Like, I have to do this. I have to put myself out there if I really want to change my life and I want to change my dynamic with myself and other people. It's going to require me to do more. I feel like I'm just going to jump right into it, okay? Confirmation burp on everything I just said. So, the last time y'all saw me, I was living in my parents' basement. I lost everything. I lost my house. I lost my car. I lost my dog. I lost my aunt. I lost my mind. You know what I mean? And I gave birth in the process. Now my daughter is 2. And so much of my life has changed. I am no longer living with my parents. I am no contact with my parents. So to start off, back in like mid-November, like right before Thanksgiving, me and my husband ended up telling my parents that we were no longer going to live with them. They came to this agreement that we were not allowed to use the washer and dryer anymore unless it was for my daughter, basically because my dad was on an ego trip. And I'm like, I can't live like this. Like, I'm trying to rebuild. We're paying them $500 every single month to be here, as well as trying to pay off debt, take care of our daughter, rebuild. You know, I'm this new mom. I'm trying to figure out everything and deal with my parents and their thoughts, feelings, and emotions and all of their stuff. It was just too much. I'm like, I gotta go. So I hit up my aunt. I'm like, listen, can we move in? And mind you, it's my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, who he's mentally challenged but high functioning, and my grandma at the time who had dementia. So it was a lot. You know what I mean? Like, moving in here, I knew it was going to be a lot, but it was never supposed to be forever. It was just to like give ourselves a better fresh start. And we go and tell my parents one day, I am freaking out, right? My anxiety is through the roof because I already know it's going to be a problem. I already know it's going to be an issue. If this is the first time seeing me, my mom's side of the family has had drama after drama after drama for the last like 15 years. So I already knew that it was going to be drama because I reached out to my mom's sister and she already was feeling some type of way that I was around her and doing stuff with her and my grandma without her. So it was like drama, okay? And my anxiety was like through the roof. I'm like, okay, I just gotta pull the band-aid. I gotta do it, right? You gotta have these hard conversations. You gotta do what you need to do to like make it work. So I did. And the initial like conversation was me saying everything, Donald agreeing, and we kept it light, we kept it simple, but we made it very clear that we wanted them to still be in our daughter's life. They're the only grandparents. Like, we really wanted that. So I was gonna leave bed and toys and, you know, clothes and stuff like that so they could still, you know, take care of her, see her and stuff like that. But obviously they can't come over here, right? Because of the rift, because of the tension, my father was not allowed here at the house that I'm currently in. And I thought, okay, no one said anything other than like, okay. My dad was silent, but my mom was like, okay, and we kept it pushing. So maybe like 10 minutes later, because my daughter was sleeping, so maybe about 10 minutes later, me and my husband go back downstairs. We're kind of like talking it over. I'm like, wow, I can't believe it was that easy. He was like, same here. I don't feel like it's over. I'm like, yeah, probably. So my dad comes downstairs and I am in our bedroom. He was doing laundry and I was getting Luna up because she just woke up. So I bring her in to the laundry room where he's at. And, it's like, oh, say hi to Papa, blah, blah, blah. And he's like kiki ha-haing with her and then looks at me, like dead face looks at me. And he was like, stay the fuck away from my wife. Oh, okay. You're not about to do that in front of my child. So I take her out, I take her by Donald. And I'm like, do you want to have a conversation? Like, obviously, you want to have a conversation. And he just starts going in. And it's not a conversation, right? It's a yelling match. He's yelling. He's having a mental breakdown, if we're being honest. And it's like me and my dad, right? We're like face to face, and Donald and Luna are behind us. But there's like this little barricade because Luna was like 1.5 at this point, right? So like she could walk, she can move around, and we had this like little barricade with this princess pop-up tent and like some stuffed animals, some laundry basket, stuff like that. Now if she wanted to move it, she could. But I'm like going back and forth with my dad, and truthfully at this point I don't even remember everything that he said, but I remember specifically he was calling me and Donald out, saying that my aunt who passed is still taking care of us from the other side, that we're broke, that we're this, that we're that, just basically calling us everything but our names. And Donald is like, bro, like we're literally leaving in a week. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you saying this? Why are you acting like this? So like, press on, right? I'm just like, okay, like stop acting like this. If you want to have a conversation, we are grown adults. Like, let's have a conversation. Like, he's getting aggro. Like, he's literally getting aggro. And I'm like, I can't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I cannot deal with this. And then all of a sudden, I turn to look at Donald because I'm telling him, like, just stop talking. Because now those two are going at it. And I'm like, you know what? Both y'all can shut up. We need to stop this conversation. Mind you, my mom is upstairs the entire time. This is all happening in the basement. So we're like one moment I turn around, I look at Donald, I'm like, stop talking. All of a sudden I turn back, my dad's not there. He has ran over to where Donald and Luna are to go attack Donald. And like I said, that princess pop-up tent was there. He pushes the tent. I grab his hoodie. I pull him back. He pulls forward and the tent pops back up in his face to block him. But mind you, Luna is standing right there, my 1.5-year-old. And Donald was sitting on the couch right next to her as he's like full force trying to attack Donald. Donald leaps over because now I have pulled him so far back. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. Like, I am screaming at the top of my lungs, fighting off my own father from attacking my husband and my child. And then he just, his eyes go black. I don't even recognize this person. He starts going insane. Donald's mother, who passed, had a baseball bat that Donald kept, and he always kept it by the stairs. My dad runs over, grabs the metal baseball bat, and I am standing in front of Donald, like screaming at him because I'm blocking Donald from attacking, like confronting my dad. And I'm like, stop, please, stop. Like, what is going on? Like, stop, please. And it's like, my dad, me, Donald. And Donald's taller than me, right? My dad takes the metal bat and swings it right by my head, but it connects with Donald's head. All I hear is Like I hear the connect, I hear the thud. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They both fall to the floor. I fall down with them. Immediately, Donald's like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, stop, 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 stop. Like, please stop. And now all of a sudden I hear a blood curdling scream. It's my daughter. And I jump up, hop over, grab her, run upstairs. Mind you, this entire time it is just my dad, me, Donald, and Luna. My mom is upstairs. So she has finally heard all of this commotion. She starts to come downstairs. As she's coming downstairs, I am running upstairs with my daughter. So now Donald comes upstairs, pure adrenaline, stands up, looks at me, bleeding from his head, bleeding from his arm, because my dad bit him so hard when he got on top of him to restrain him. He bit him so hard that it literally tore the muscle. Like it, you could see it. And he's bleeding from his head. My daughter's crying. I'm immediately panicking. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And my body and my mind just immediately froze. And then a split second, I was like, all right, we gotta leave. We gotta go. We gotta go. Like, I'm gonna grab bags and we're gonna leave. So Donald is putting Luna in the car. Now my parents come upstairs and I'm like yelling at my mom and I'm like, do you know what he just did? Do you know what he just did? He just attacked my family. Like, Donald is bleeding from his head. This was all in front of Luna, blah, blah, blah. She says nothing. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta go. Donald, as I am packing these bags, is like, she's texting your aunt, telling her whatever they're telling you isn't the full story. Mind you, she wasn't even down there. So I'm like, what are you talking about? We go to the local hospital. Obviously, protocol, if there is some type of assault, police get involved. The police take a statement from us and they take the weapon because Donald also had the bat. You can literally see the dent inside of this metal bat where it connected with Donald. And I'm just like, I can't believe that I have to do this. Like, I can't believe that it got to this point. I can't believe that she took his side. Like, out of everything, he not only attacked my husband, his son in law, but he swung that bat while I was standing there. He swung that bat while my daughter was right behind Donald. He also tried to attack Donald in front of my daughter. That's not a, oh, poo poo, we're gonna push this off. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now all of a sudden CPS is involved. Not all of a sudden, obviously, because my child was in danger. And I'm not going to get into all the dynamics of my parents, but just know that there's a lot of narcissism there. Confirmation. It's a lot to like re-talk about this and like relive this because I can see it, right? Like I can see it right here in my third eye. Like I see it, I feel it, I feel all of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that I had at that moment and at that time. And I'm like, this is so much to like talk about. But I knew that I needed to share this because I know that I'm not the only person that has gone through something as horrific as this and is trying to navigate and make it out on the other side. You know, it feels really lonely. There's no one else in my life at this current moment that is dealing with anything like this. So it does feel very lonely. And I wanted to share, you know, I wanted to put myself out there. And with this Sagittarius full moon, this blue moon, it was like I felt the universe tugging at my heart, tugging at my soul of like, this is the time. If not now, then when? And it's right, you know, it needs to be done. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. And my dad ended up in jail. And my mom was mad at me because of it. Because she is his defender. She will always be his defender. That's how their dynamic works. And she already didn't have a connection with her sister that passed, her other sister that's alive, her mother, you know, so on and so forth. So many people on my mom's side of the family she was disconnected with because of him. And now here we are, her own daughter, her own granddaughter are now not a part of her life because she keeps choosing him. And it was really hard for me. There was so much guilt trip and so much energy going on of like telling me that I'm a horrible person, but I did what I knew was best for me and my family. I had to protect my family. And when I got to my aunt's house, my aunt and uncle's house, they literally had like a security guy here, like a family friend was, watching over the house, watching over me, my daughter, my husband. And it was just so much happening all at once. And mind you, my grandma has dementia, so like we're not really telling her what's going on, but she's not stupid. Like she is very much aware that something bad has happened. So the room that I'm in right now was my grandma's like sitting room, and it's like a Jack and Jill. So there's a bathroom right here, and then next to it is another room. So it was like, okay, we cleaned out my grandma's sitting room. Me, my husband, and my daughter are living in this one room. But this is a big house, right? It's like 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Like there is plenty of space, but it was just a lot, going from like this crazy moment to now like trying to settle. And not only did we, move everything within a day from my parents' house, the police had to be involved. It was like a whole thing. Then CPS is coming and all this stuff. Mind you, in the process of all of this, I'm still running my business, right? I'm not posting at this time, but I am still like sharing in my membership group, right? My collective, the Stella Nova collective. I'm like active in there and I'm like, listen, y'all, I need some time. I need at least a week, if not more, to like figure some stuff out. There's a lot going on. Everyone is like, of course, this is crazy. Like, we're here for you. And it was just a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I had to move everything within 2 days, pack up a whole basement full of our stuff, get a storage unit. There was just a lot of stuff was happening in that time span. And finally, it gets to this point where we're living here. And I'm not talking to my dad. I'm not talking to my mom at this point. My grandma and her dementia decline rapidly. So not only am I a stay-at-home mom, I'm also a stay-at-home in-home caretaker with my aunt. So my aunt was taking care of my grandma and my cousin. And obviously I was like helping. So my grandma was a lot. Her dementia. If anyone has ever experienced dementia with someone in their family, especially elderly, when they get to a certain stage, it's really hard. And she was at that stage. She couldn't remember anything. She was very aggressive. There was a lot of aggressive stuff. She was having a hard time with the bathroom, hard time getting up and down, and it was a lot. Mentally, emotionally, physically, right? Here I am going from this one very traumatic situation now into another traumatic situation because my grandma helped raise me. I love my grandma. That's my mom's mom. Like, I lived with her. I grew up with her. Like, she's been a part of my life for a very long time. Fast forward, this is like November. Fast forward to end of January, like middle, end of January, it's just getting worse, and it got to the point of where we're like, okay, do we need hospice care? Do we need, what kind of care does she need? Nurse came in, they were like, she's definitely ready for hospice. So the conversation had to be had with my mom, my aunt, and myself. And like, this is my mom's mom, right? And my aunt is like, I'm not gonna hold my own sister against, our mother, blah blah blah. Like, I know my mom needs this, so on and so forth. And she asked me, like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I feel the same way. Like, I'm not about to leave. I'm not about to tell her she can't be here to like see her mother, like that's not fair. And that's just not the kind of person that I am. I have way too much empathy and grace for people. So fast forward, there's a lot of drama coming because my mom didn't realize that she started getting this bad. So it turned into like this whole thing. And basically my mom started dismissing what the situation, the attack, if you will. She's like, oh, it wasn't even that big of a deal. And oh, he only had to get a few stitches. He didn't have anything major wrong, blah, blah, blah. Like just totally dismissing everything because she wanted her husband, my father, to be at the funeral, to be a part of this family, even though he has hurt all of us in more than one way. So I'm like, okay, I'm, no, like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna have her continue this cycle with me. So I thought I'll tell her, if you want your husband there at the funeral, I will not be there. And she was like, no, that's your grandma, you need to be there. I do not want to be around him. I do not feel safe. I do not feel comfortable. Mind you, we're only talking like 2 months out at this point. So I'm like, no. It gets to probably like a week before my grandma died. I had this vision. I kept seeing the number 3. And I'm like, she's either going to pass on the 3rd of February or she's going to pass sometime in March. And the way that she started declining, I'm like, it's definitely going to be the 3rd of February. And she was on like a 2-hour, every 2 to 3 hour regimen where she was getting Haldol and morphine. And we had to literally put it in her mouth like she was just laying in bed, like she was not getting up at this point, and we were administering the medication. And my mom was staying here with us because she was like, I don't want to not, be here on the last dying days. So it got to a point the night before my grandma passed, my mom was like, I gotta go home. Like, I just, this is a lot. I don't know why she keeps holding on. All of us have told her, like, it's time to move. It's time to move on. It's okay to go. And I told her, I was like, I think leaving is probably best. I don't think she's gonna, pass while you're here. If I'm being honest, I just don't think so. So she doesn't. And, I knew in my heart, I knew it. I just knew it, right, with my intuition. And my uncle and Donald were able to step in, and because me, my mom, and my aunt were the one administering the medication. And all of us, I was doing the overnight, my mom was doing the early morning, my aunt was doing the, midday, end of day. It was a lot, it was a lot of stuff. And I just knew that I could not walk into that room and see her gone to administer this medication. So my husband stepped in, and he, at like, I don't know, before he went to work, so it was like 7 something in the morning, he woke me up and he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry she's gone. And I knew it. And it was February 3rd that she passed away. And it was really hard, it was really hard, but there was a big relief because months, right? For a year and a half, I dealt with all this trauma and BS with my parents. And then moving out and coming here, it was like, oh, great, breath of fresh air. And then immediately went into crazy survival mode, caretaker, like everything. And I'm watching this woman who was full of life and my foxy grandma decline rapidly. Everything that I knew and saw about her was no longer. And it was hard, it was really hard. And it gets to the funeral. My grandma taught me how to sing when I was 4. So I was like, all right, maybe I should sing a song. And I was going back and forth on it a lot. And there was a song that I was like, all right, I'm gonna sing this song, but let me at least practice it. And I'm practicing it in the bathroom. And mind you, like my whole family, like my cousins and stuff, they're like, you're singing, right? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. It's just a lot. It's a lot to be a part of someone's funeral like that, whether if you're speaking or whatever, but especially to like sing. I knew that I was just gonna have a lot of like hurt coming up. And it was at the old church that I grew up at. And I have a lot of trauma there. So I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do that. So I finally came to the decision of like, yep, I'm going to do it. Let's do it. And a lot of people in my family are like, do you think that your mom is going to bring your dad? And I'm like, no, we all told her no. Like, she didn't bring him to my aunt's funeral. She didn't even go to that funeral, right? Like, because he wasn't allowed, she didn't go to her own sister's funeral. Fine, whatever. So, obviously, she's not going to miss her mother's funeral. I would hope not, right? Like, I'm like, there's no way that she would miss that. And my mom comes in with my nephew. So I'm like, okay, like, she brought somebody, like, cool. She didn't speak to me. She didn't speak to my husband. She didn't speak to any of us. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Here she's not talking to me because we got into the big fight the day that my grandma passed because she was mad that no one put a picture of my dad in the slideshow for my grandma. And as like her and my aunt are fighting about it, I flat out am like, can we do this another day? Like, grandma literally just got wheeled out of here dead like an hour ago. Can we not like worry about your husband in a slideshow? And here I am sitting on the couch, your child. I would love for you to like actually support me and us support each other and give each other this love that we both need. And you couldn't even do that. So I'm like, whatever. And that was the last time that I spoke to my mom in person. And when I'm at the funeral, she's not talking to me, whatever. I'm like, whatever. I'm not even going to focus on this today. She didn't sit with the family. She sat with a bunch of coworkers and some other family. I get on stage. I was one of like the first 3 people to like sing or like do something. And mind you, I used to sing on this stage all the time when I was younger. So like there is a familiarity, but a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of stuff's just coming up for me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to power through it. I'm going to sing for my grandma. And if you're a performer at all, you're supposed to like look through the audience, like ahead. You're not supposed to look directly in the eyes because it helps with like nerves and stuff. So I'm doing that. I'm getting through the first verse and now I'm getting more comfortable. So now I'm getting to the chorus. Boom. Who do you think I see? My bald-headed father. Yup. She snuck him in. And because we were sitting in the front row, no one saw him coming in because he was not there when she first came in. So she brought him anyway. And my immediate reaction was panic. I still sang my song. And when I was done, I threw the microphone and I ran off stage. And Donald came and got me. And everyone thought like the moment was like, oh, wow, like she was, really in her feelings about her grandma, which are true. But my body and my mind were like, run, leave, flee. Because mind you, we're talking about a very traumatic moment reliving in my head while I am in this traumatic moment singing at my grandmother's funeral. I panicked. So me and Donald left. And mind you, I'm at the beginning of this funeral. I didn't even finish the funeral. And my cousins and my aunt, everyone's like, what's going on? Where are you? Because I never came back. And once everything ended, obviously my aunt went on stage, my cousin went on stage, everyone saw him. So they're like, what is going on? Like, we just told her no, like, meaning my mom, like, we can't have him here. So it was a lot, it was a lot. And that was the moment where I'm like, I have to put boundaries out there. She refuses, both of them refuse to listen to my thoughts, feelings, and emotions and my boundaries. I cannot do this anymore. I will not do this anymore. So I went no contact. I'm like, I can't. Like, I won't. I can't. This is just not the life that I want to live. So we move on. We push forward. Cool. Fine. Whatever. Confirmation. Then I, that was in February. So March rolls around and I'm just in a really bad space. I just feel like I'm dying. I feel every part of me is dying, inside, outside. I'm losing people left and right. I'm having to make decisions and thought processes and just a true change. I thought my Saturn return was done, okay? I really did. And now all of a sudden I had to maneuver through all of these thoughts, feelings, and emotions that I never truly felt before. And it got to this point where I'm like, all right, I had to have the reckoning with myself of like, okay, I cannot live like this. Every part of my life has been uprooted. Even my own marriage, even my relationship with my parents, motherhood, friendships, everything was uprooted because all of this affected me so deeply. I was deeply heartbroken. The 2 people that bring you into this world, rejecting you, not caring about you, making you feel like shit, that is not an easy severing. A lot of people are like, oh, no contact is the new fad. No, it's not. No contact is not a fad. It is a decision and a choice. Not because you want to go no contact is because you need to go no contact. To truly take care of yourself, to truly put yourself forward, your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions requires you to do so. And that's where I came to, because I said to myself, I refuse to repeat the cycle with my own daughter. I will never let her feel the way that I feel with my own mother. I will be different. I will heal my traumas. I will deal with whatever I need to deal with so that she never has to go through this. And even if she did, I don't want her to have the same experience. I want to show up with love. I want to show up where she feels seen, heard, safe, supported. You know, I want her to feel all of that. And the only way for me to break that generational curse is for me to break it. So I decided to go to therapy. And I go weekly. Okay, I got a lot going on. And I'm just like, my poor therapist. I have like my little notebook. I had literally 15 bullet points that I like just dropped in our immediate conversation. And she was like, okay, boo, you got a lot going on. And I'm like, yes, I do. But she has helped me so much see the true depths of my thoughts, feelings, and emotions of what I truly want and what I'm truly doing. So now, fast forward, last week was the 1 year celebration of Stella Nova Collective. Shout out to my Nova babes. And we threw a little party. Yes, it's virtual, but it was fun. And we had like a graduation ceremony, and then we had an after party. And the ceremony itself was 5 reflection questions about how far we've come over this last year and where do we want to go for this next year. And that's when everything started. It was like bing, click, click, click. Like all of this stuff started happening for me where I'm like, oh, like I'm really seeing myself for real. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna do it. I realize that the way that other people see me is not the way that I see myself. And the way that other people receive me is not the same way that I receive myself. And I realized over this last year, I was still running Stella Nova, even through the thick of it. And I wanted to create this one-on-one program, right? I wanted to not just do my membership or not just do readings. I wanted to expand and grow. And I was so nervous. I've been nervous to do one-on-one coaching or group coaching my entire like business career, the last like 6 years. I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. I don't have a degree. I don't have this, whatever, right? I just kept telling myself that I wasn't good enough, that I had to be perfect before I could do and teach and be this leader and this guide. But we were all pouring into each other during our 1 year celebration, and something that one of my members said, or something that I was receiving for one of my members, it was like her ancestors, her spirit guides were coming through, and they were like, she is sunshine. Like she has her own shine, and she's beautiful, and her light and this glow, and like she doesn't see it. And then at the same time it was like, and that's for you too. And I'm like, and mind you, if y'all know, my great grandma used to sing "You Are My Sunshine" to me. My grandma sang "You Are My Sunshine" to me. She sang that to my daughter as well. So anything that comes through as sunshine or my sunshine, I always think of both of my grandmas, my grandma and my great grandma. And I lost it. You know, I was bawling. I was like, oh my God, like this is so real. Like I feel this, like I feel the change. I am seeing that I am no longer the Bree that I used to be. The Bree that I used to be, especially when I moved in with my parents, would have never went no contact, would have never sent her dad to jail or stick up for herself or stand up for her boundaries and put her own thoughts, feelings, and emotions first. That version would have never done that. And then that's when I started realizing I am my highest self right now. Like, yeah, so when we think of our higher self, it's like the best of the best, the peak, right? But we don't think of every version of ourself until we hit that point, right? And I am the highest version of myself that I have ever been. So I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? Because now that I have freedom, right, from my parents and the shackles that they put on me with the guilt and the shame and the narcissism and just all of that drama, I don't have that. Living with my aunt and uncle is a complete 180. It's very hard. It is very hard for me to like actually accept and receive that. And, I'm working on it in therapy. I'm figuring it out, but I'm realizing that every part of my life and aspect is 100% different than what it was before. So, what can I do now for myself? What can I do now to push myself forward for what I really want? What do I really want? Who am I really? And it's been a lot. It's been a lot for me. I I've come out as bi before, but never like I would always be like, oh, well, I'm bi, but I'm married and I have a baby. So it's like, I know I'm not the only one that has that. But now I'm like, yeah, no, like I'm not going to hide that part of myself. I do find women attractive. I definitely am not curious. I'm more serious. If you know, you know. And for a long time, I would just say, oh, I'm just curious. Oh, I'm just curious. But I don't feel like that. And I'm realizing that I want to feel safe. I want to feel seen. I want to feel heard. I want to feel supported. And I want the love that I pour into other people to pour back into me. And that's like my base. That's my foundation of what I am truly wanting. But I want to have fun. Everything about my life has felt so serious and so life altering for so long. I just want to have fun this summer. And the way that I'm thinking about having fun is being myself. Whatever way that that shows up, in whatever way, shape, or form, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I want to explore. I want to find my truest self. I want to take pottery classes. I want to go on little weekend trips, try new restaurants, try new places. I want to get my nails done, my hair done. I want to have fun colored braids, and I just want to do different stuff. You know what I mean? Like everything has felt so serious for so long that it was all about, this track of, okay, I'm on this path, I'm on this track. I moved out when I was 19. I got my own car when I was 19. I graduated college at 19. Like, I was doing so much stuff so quick so that I could be the impressive child to my parents, the shiny trophy on the shelf, that now that that shelf and that trophy have shattered, I'm like, okay, I'm not picking up those pieces. I'm picking up myself. That shell has broken off of me. So now I feel like this blob. So like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? And I don't have the answer, right? I don't have the full answer. But what I do have is a new understanding of what I want, or at least what I can try. One of my best friends for years was telling me that she wanted to be a digital nomad, she wanted to travel the world, that just all of these things. She landed on going to Chiang Mai, Thailand. It took her, I don't know, once she finally locked in of where she wanted to go, maybe 6 months. And she did it. And she was there for a whole month. And she was living her best life. And she truly was glowing. And I'm like, yeah, I want that. I want to pick something and just go for it and do it. I don't care about the rest. I don't care about other people. I don't care about any of my parents' thoughts, feelings, and opinions or whatever. I care about myself. I'm a grown ass woman. Like, what do I want out of life? Because if I can't figure that out now for myself, how am I going to be able to teach that for my daughter in the future? Stop these cycles. So I have designated the summer of Brie, the self-discovery summer of Brie. I don't know. I have a cute name for it, but it's somewhere like that. And I'm just like, okay, like, how am I going to do this? What is that going to look like? And something I was telling my friend Elise, I was like, yeah, there's all these things I want to do. She was like, okay, book the class, take the shuttle, do this, do that. Like, just do it. Like, who are you waiting for permission for? And I was like, ooh, T, you're right. Clock it. Like, you're absolutely right. And now that I have realized that the chains that were on me no longer are there, I can actually step out of the prison. I can step out of the cell. I've been standing in there for a little bit, but that's why I had to go in hibernation and hermit mode, if you will, because all of this was really hard for me to process and understand and go through. And I felt like, how could I show up here? How could I be this, spiritual transformation coach if I can't even figure it out for myself? But that's the beauty, right? That's something that I've learned is people aren't looking for somebody that does it perfectly. People are looking for people who are going through the same things as them. And not next month, sorry, July, I am dropping my one-on-one program called The Shedding. And It is my first step of me doing coaching. I am going to do one-on-one coaching and maybe some group coaching in the future, but I am keeping the collective alive. It has been such a place that I feel safe, seen, heard, and supported, all the things that I've wanted. And everybody in the group feels the same way. And I'm not lying, that's the reviews. They will be out there. I will show more reviews here, but I'm just ready, you know? I feel like I'm ready to take on the world. And even if it's messy, even if I fail, even if it's not right, I know what it feels like to fail. I don't know what it feels like to truly succeed and achieve the dreams and the goals that I have. And that's really more or less where I'm the most afraid. I'm like, is anyone going to want to sign up for this? You know, am I actually who I think I am? I am. I am. And I know people are going to sign up. And maybe it's you. Maybe you've came across this and you're like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Because the shedding program, just a little sneak peek, is a 12-week course where we go through 3 different phases. The first phase of the caterpillar phase, if you will, of like really journeying through the anger, the ego, the grief, you know, all of these things that are deep within our shadows that maybe we have dealt with, but we haven't dealt with it with support, or we haven't hit the furthest layer that we could. I'm gonna bring that out. And we hit that hard and heavy first 4 weeks. But then we transition into understanding our worthiness, seeing our true selves, integrating the yin with the yang, right? The light and the darkness. You can't have the darkness without a little bit of light, and vice versa, right? That's why the yin and yang symbol look the way that it does. But the shedding specifically, I always thought about a snake skin shedding, because you're still yourself, right? The snake is still itself, it just has a new layer, a different layer of skin. And every time the snake itself does not change, but the outer changes. And that is what's going on here, right? Though through this process, through these phases, we are dealing with the pain and the hurt, but also seeing our worth and our worthiness and our light, and how to integrate it. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to integrate. Confirmation. But like, the integration is that key component here. Maybe you've already done the work. Maybe you've already hit, you know, you've done the readings, you've done the tarot, psychic, shadow work, whatever, right? Maybe you've done all of it, but you're still not where you want to be, or you still don't understand. You're going through transition. And something that I tell my members all the time, the butterfly doesn't immediately leave the cocoon and start flying. The butterfly is now totally different and has to look at the surroundings and really integrate that. Now their perspective of a caterpillar, where they could only crawl, now they have the freedom of flight. They have new wings. They are truly changed. And that's what this program is for me. My love letter from me to the client is, I'm not telling you that you're going to be your higher self at the end of these 12 weeks. But what I can tell you is you're going to have a new understanding of yourself. You're going to really feel and heal lots of parts of yourself, because at this point, you've already done everything else, right? You've already tried everything else. I know I can help you. I know that I can see your true depth and give you verbiage, give you tools, give you love and support to really get onto this next side of transition. But obviously more stuff's going to come out about it. If you're looking for something a little bit more detailed right now, or you're looking for more help throughout your day-to-day, check out the Stella Nova Collective. We follow the lunations of the full moon and the new moon, so you can pop in whenever, and we have weekly lessons surrounding stuff like that. But we're also like kicking, having fun. We do bi-weekly calls, so we're live, we're playing games, we're having party nights, we're doing stuff. It's community. It's a place where you can feel safe, seen, and heard, and supported, but also like, you know, a little spiritual, a little witchy, a little something something, because I believe that people need more support like that. And of course, if you're looking for a one-on-one reading with me, that's also available. But check out, you know, my website link. Obviously, it's on my page, or you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram. It is on there as well. But honestly, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better being able to put all of this out there and post this. And no, it isn't exactly perfect. Perfect ain't real. So this is me sharing me to the world. And I hope it gets received. I hope people see where I'm really coming from. And if you've ever gone through anything, not even the exact same thing, but anything that is somewhere remotely of what I've been dealing with, please send a comment, please send a DM. Let's connect. Let's do something, because I truly am looking for more people to be there with me in this process. So I love y'all, and I would love for y'all to follow, like, subscribe, comment, all the things on anything. So Stella Nova 424. Love y'all.